137.6. It looked like a gut or a pregnant belly. Last night was rough. I'm ready to get out of the hospital. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of March, and as you can see, I am at home. So I kind of want to run you through what my return home has been like, what my recovery has been like so far, and what these past 4 or 5 days of my life have looked like. Saturday I got up, I had one of my catheters removed by one of my very, very patient nurses, and he helped me to walk for the first time. And I was surprised at the ease of movement. I have consistently been surprised by how I am able to move. Obviously, it's not as comfortable as it would have been prior to surgery. My stomach muscles are sore, but most of the activities that I can reach up high, and I can squat down, and I can do everything that I need to do. Most of my range of movement is still there and was from the minute I got up the day after surgery. My stomach is still very, very swollen and bloated, and I hope that that will go away in time, but it's taking a while. On Sunday, my doctor said to me if I could eat, they would discharge me. I ate. I came home. My girlfriend came, collected me on Sunday, took me home, and I was able to come up the several flights of stairs to my apartment and use the stairs in my apartment. No problem. Look at me go. No hands. Home. I have felt significantly better since I've been back in my own space. I'm going back to work on Friday, so right after my appointment to remove my stitches, which I might vlog and show you guys, I will go back to work. I'll be teaching a class, and then I have a conference that I'm interpreting for at the weekend. I really wanted to show this process because I wanted to show how important it is to take care of yourself. Even when you are trying to set and achieve goals, it's still important to give yourself time to heal sometimes. And also I kind of wanted to share my experience with uterine fibroids because it's a very common affliction, but it is different in everyone. Some people have very, very mild cases, and it is one of, I think, the most misunderstood experiences that women, and particularly women of color, go through. Because yes, you might be one of the lucky ones who has something small, undetectable, it doesn't grow and it doesn't affect your life at all, but you might be one of the unlucky ones who might have to have major surgery, who might end up having to have a hysterectomy. There are many women who have had to have their entire uterus removed because of uterine fibroids, and that is a big deal. You know, it's not like, oh well, you know, it's just a uterus, it's not an organ that you use for very many things. I mean, I could also by the same token say, well, it's just an eye, you have another one. You know what I mean? But it's a serious thing, and I kind of wanted to do my bit to raise awareness about it. If you are in a similar situation to what I am in or what I was in, you're not alone. I feel like I'm rambling now though, so I am gonna stop here, and I'll catch you in my next update. It'll probably be my 1 week update. I will let you know how things are going then. Bye. So for the next few days, I just took it easy. My days consisted of a lot of Netflix, mostly. I did go for a walk at one point because the doctors said that it would help to get my digestion working, and it did help, but it also made me realize that I was in no condition to go for walks. Belgians walk like they own the pavement. Zero courtesy, zero spatial awareness. Multiple times I almost got mowed down by people who, I guess they expected me to be a lot more agile than I was. So other than that, I stayed at home, and by the 6th day post-op, I did notice that the swelling in my belly had gone down considerably. Things were looking good. These images that you're seeing on screen now were taken first thing in the morning before I had eaten anything. So that is to kind of give you an idea of just what my stomach looks like. It's not a food baby or anything, like that's just the progress that I was making. At one point, I did have to call the hospital because I was concerned that one of my incisions was still bleeding every time I changed the dressings. But they told me that it should be okay because it wasn't a lot of blood. Okay, so we are 1 week post-op. Today is Friday, and I am in the taxi on my way to the hospital to have my stitches removed. So I am very excited / nervous about that whole process. I know it's going to hurt. I have been weaning myself off of my painkillers, so I haven't taken painkillers in the past couple days, which means that I am constantly in a little bit of pain, but fortunately it's not too much pain, it's bearable. And I feel like my system functions better without the painkillers. The bloating and the gas and everything have mostly passed. There's still some of it, but they have mostly passed, so my body is starting to feel normal again, and I'm so relieved about that. But I think I do have a long way to go before I don't have any pain or soreness. So after my appointment today at the hospital, I am actually going to be working for the first time since my surgery. I have a class to teach, but I have decided to teach that class online from home so that I am not exerting myself too much. So yeah, I'll show you guys what my incisions look like after I've seen them, and wish me luck for my first doctor's appointment after the surgery and the removal of my sutures. Ay, ay, ay.
Okay.
I have to remind myself that I have voluntarily gone for things like piercings and stuff. So I should be able to tolerate this.
Okay, this one was a bit tighter, but
It's gone?
it's gone.
Thank you. 2 down and 4 to go. This is the one that bleeds. So he went in with my old incision. You see the
Yes.
incision from my surgery when I was 10. I am not excited about this.
And what language do you speak?
I only speak French and Spanish. I speak some German, but I don't work with it.
Uh-huh.
I only work with French and Spanish. Well, and English, of course.
Well,
Does that look okay?
yes, I will just need to get.
So I'm back from the hospital. I have to quickly get ready for class. I'm going to have probably a little snack, and then I will be teaching for the next 4 hours or so online from the comfort of my living room, fortunately. But I just wanted to say that the appointment went well. The removal of the stitches was okay, not as painful as I had expected. Actually, it was just about as painful as I expected, but you know, I didn't expect it to be too bad, and it wasn't too bad. I am pretty relieved right now. I feel like my recovery is on track. I am not quite back to my normal self, but I feel myself getting closer and closer to normal every day. If you want any updates on how recovery went and all of that, head over to my Instagram. Today I am going to be posting about my surgery on my Instagram. If you are curious, you can check. You'll recognize the post. It's going to be me in kind of like animal print with a bunch of like bandages all over my stomach. Now I'm going to have to explain to you what happened next because, to be honest, I was too traumatized to film it. And I have to admit, I was also in denial about what I saw when I took my coat off after filming the last clip. Now, my first mistake was that I called a taxi to take me back to the hospital instead of calling an ambulance. And that, of course, made everything take much longer. My second mistake was that I messaged my students to tell them that I would be starting class a little bit late. Like I said, total denial. And my third mistake was going back to the hospital unprepared to spend the night. Yes, me. Totally unprepared. Nothing packed. Nothing planned. Just in a total daze. My phone was almost dead. I didn't have my ebook reader. I didn't have any kind of cable or anything to charge my phone. I didn't have clean clothes to change into. Not a toothbrush. Nothing. I think my mind had just completely refused to compute that I was walking into the ER for emergency surgery and that I would not be going home that night. Look away now if you don't want to see what I saw when I took my coat off. Now, if you can't tell, that is subcutaneous fat oozing out of the incision that I showed you earlier when I said to the doctor, this is the one that has been bleeding. Well, that incision opened up when I got home. When I got to the ER, they did a COVID test. They checked to see if I had eaten anything at all that day. My COVID test was negative, and all I had eaten that day was a yogurt, so I was good to go. They took me into surgery again, general anesthetic, so I was out. When I woke up from surgery, I was in even more pain than I had been after the first surgery, which is insane because this was only one incision and it was a much less serious surgery. I begged for somebody to help, to give me pain relief, but they all ignored me for a very long time. When I finally got a nurse's attention, he told me that they had been ignoring me because I was quote unquote not making any sense and I was speaking English. And I'm sorry, but I just don't think that those two things are synonymous. But anyway, I spoke to my anesthesiologist after that. She was very nice. She told me that as soon as I got back up to the ward, I could eat something, which I was very happy about because, like I said, all I had eaten that day was a yogurt. So anyway, they took me to a shared room for my overnight stay. I was in for the very worst stay at the hospital that I had for this entire experience. First of all, nobody fed me. By this point, I'd only had a yogurt in almost 24 hours. And of course, my roommate decided she wanted to keep her overhead lights on all night. So I ended up having a long, starving, sleepless night. By 4 a.m. in the morning, I was desperate. I climbed out of bed all by myself. I begged them to release me. They said I had to wait until the doctor did his rounds at about 7 in the morning. I felt like a prisoner. No books to read, nobody to talk to. I was starving. I was just staring into the overhead lights all night. So as soon as the doctor released me, I busted out of there. I think the nurses were a little bit offended. It wasn't really their fault, but I had an awful night. So anyway, now you're up to speed. And now I know some of you are probably wondering, what did the fibroids weigh? Because if you recall, in part 1, I did a pre-op weigh-in. After surgery, actually, I weighed a little bit more than I did before surgery. But by the time things kind of settled down, I think about 2 weeks later, I filmed this. So I am running. I have to go to the hospital today. I finally have my 1 month post-op appointment, although it has been 1 month and 2 weeks since surgery. I just wanted to sort of catch up and update the vlog before I have to put on my mask and be completely unintelligible. So I'll let you know when I come back from the hospital how that went, but I have a feeling that it's going to go well. So I am back from my doctor's appointment. I apologize for the echo, by the way. I know that when I record in this room, it's kind of echoey, but I feel like this is a good place to wrap up this second part of my vlog. I had a great doctor's appointment. He said that everything looks really good. My uterus looks like it's in really good shape. No more fibroids apart from the fibroids that he already knew about that he left there that are small. And he said to me, you know, everything looks good. I'm so happy. I'm pleased. And I got so excited. I was like, that is exactly what you want to hear when you go to a doctor's appointment. That's the best thing that you could hear at a doctor's appointment. And I told him that. I was like, yeah, that's like what I think everybody wants to hear. The doctor saying, I'm so happy, everything looks really good. And then he said, you should never develop any fibroids of that size again for the rest of your life. That's not very likely to happen. And I was like, okay, no, that is the best thing that I could have possibly heard at this appointment. The fact that everything looks good, it looks like I'm healing well, and he doesn't think that I will ever have fibroids like that again in life. Like, what more could I actually want? I can't think of what more I could want. So I left feeling on cloud nine. He said that I need to massage my scars to break the scars, which I'm not excited about. He kind of demonstrated what that would be like, and it was exceedingly painful. And I'm going to try and be good about it and actually do it. He said, like, move the scars in different directions to sort of break them up. I will try. I'll try and be a good girl about this, because I feel like everything is going so well now with this last leg of my recovery. I would hate to do anything to ruin it. So I will try to be good about massaging my scars. I asked him when I'd be able to conceive. He said within about 6 months. He thinks that I should, not within 6 months, after 6 months. He says it should be fine for me to try to conceive. I asked him if there was really no chance at all that I could deliver naturally, because I would really like to avoid a C-section if I can. And he said that that depends a lot on how long I wait before I conceive. So if I were to wait 3 or 4 years, then he would think it's a lot better to try for a natural birth. But if I were to conceive in 6 months, then he would absolutely recommend a C-section. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, because I really would like I said, I would like to be able to give birth naturally if at all possible. But I'm glad to know that it's not a case where it's completely like he rules it out. It's absolutely impossible. He just said he wouldn't recommend it. And I will take that. I will take I don't recommend over this is impossible, because that's better than what I thought I was going to end up with. So overall, I am happy. I'm so glad that you all have stuck around with me for the duration of this vlog. I know it has been a long one, a 2-part vlog, and I've already started editing, and it is painful. It's painful. So I really appreciate you sticking with me, staying here, watching the whole thing. Please do remember to give it a thumbs up for all of my hard work. I hope that it has been interesting to you and maybe provided useful information about something that is actually a very common affliction, particularly among women of color. Anyway, let me stop yammering on. Thank you so much for having been here, and I really hope that I will see you in my next video. Bye.